Right now I'm going to show you how to solve this quadratic equation using your graphing calculator, okay, your TI-84. And it will work on the TI-83 just the same. On this one, normally what we would want to do is first move this 5 over to the other side, so we subtract 5 from both sides. However, there is another method that we can use, and we can use our calculator. And the first step when we're using our calculator is we want to enter this in as two separate equations. So y1 will be what's found on this left-hand side. It really doesn't matter which one's y1 and which one's y2. But so y1 right here, I'm doing this x squared plus 4x. Okay, I just leave that there. And then for y2, I'm going to have it be just plain old 5. Okay, so let's bring in a graphing calculator here. Alright, so here's my graphing calculator. And you can go, let's pretend as if we're on the home page here. You want to go right here to where it says y equals. Type that in. So here's your y equals, and you can do these y1 I've got over here as x squared plus 4. So I'm going to type that in. Your x again is found right here. Notice as I click on these that they turn red. So we've got x squared plus 4x. That's my y1. Now my y2 I'm going to enter in as just 5. Now that's going to be a horizontal line. So that's 5. Okay, I'm going to, if you'll go up here to your window, go zoom, and we're just looking for the standard window at this point. We'll see what that looks like. We may need to change it, but for the moment we're just going to go standard, which is option number 6. So I'm going to go down here to 6. That'll give me a negative 10 to positive 10 in both my x's and my y's. And let's see what this looks like. That's my first equation. That one's in blue. My calculator does it in colors, but yours may be just black and white, and that's fine. Okay, so right here is my horizontal line at y equals 5. It goes straight across. That's the one in red. And then my quadratic, this is my x squared plus 4x. That's the one in blue. Now, in order to solve this one, if you remember right, in quadratics we have two different answers. Okay, so what we're going to do is look for the intersection of these lines. We're going to look for the point right here where these two lines intersect. That will give us one answer. And the point right here where these two lines intersect will give us our second answer. Okay, so we've used these functions before, our second trace function, but that's what we're going to use again. We go to second trace. This time I'm not looking for a value or minimum or maximum. I'm looking for the intersect, option number 5. So I'll scroll down for number 5 and I'll hit enter. And you'll see my cursor. My cursor is right here blinking. It does not matter which side that you start with. So I'll go over here. I'm just going to start on the left-hand side. Notice it just kind of follows along that graph, and it's on the blue line. If you want to switch it to the red line, you can use this up arrow. Will automatically switch it to the red line that's closest. Okay, but I started on the blue. I'm going to stay on the blue. All I want to do is get somewhere close over here to where this intersection is, okay? That's pretty close, so I'm okay with that. And notice how this says first curve. So that's our first graph. We're on the blue one. That's our first one, so we're good there. So I hit enter. Now it automatically jumps to my red line, okay, my y equals 5. And it jumps to the spot where it's nearest to the first one that I entered, which is great because I want this intersection right here. So the second curve, this is my second graph, that's my red line, so that's good. So I hit enter there. So now I've entered in my first one, my blue line, my second one, which is my red line. Now it asks me to guess, so I hit enter again. And it tells me my intersection, x equals negative 5, y equals 5. Okay, so going back over here to our original equation here, well, we know that y equals 5 because that's what one of our lines. So now we know that y equals 5 and x equals negative 5, and we can bring back in the calculator to tell us that. X equals negative 5, y equals 5, so we're on the right path. So this is one point. If we wrote it as an ordered pair, it would be negative 5, comma 5. So we're okay there. So now we found one of them. But with a quadratic equation, we've got to find the other. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go second trace, and I'm looking for the intersect, which is option number 5 again. Now, notice how it started right here where I ended, because that was my first one, which was great for the first one, but that doesn't help me for the second one. So I just use my right arrow, and I scroll along until I get pretty close to my second intersection. Looks like I'm still going. There we go. And that's somewhat close. I'm okay with that. So I hit enter. That jumps it automatically from my blue line to my red line to my second equation, and it says second curve, and it's automatically the closest spot, and I say that's great. So I hit enter. and it asked me to guess, and so I hit enter, and it will take a second, and it will tell me that my intersection on that one is x equals 1, y equals 5. Okay, so now we're going back over here. I've got x equals 1, y equals 5. Well, we knew that on this one both of my y values were going to be 5. That's my red line here, that's my horizontal line. All of my y values on that one will be 5. So it really tells us what our x values are. My x value is negative 5 and positive 1. So my answer to this one is x equals negative 5 and positive 1. Again, I have two answers, x equals negative 5 and positive 1.